Good evening, class. Dr. Ryder. This is Eddie Knighton with my Module 1 online engagement video introduction. My first realization collectively from the readings is my own surprise at how expensive college has become. As college students ourselves, I think that we have to forget how much we pay for college in order to go there and partially to be happy about it. I've known my whole life that the price of higher education has steadily outpaced inflation and income, but I've never realized how much. In EDL 550 with Dr. Ryder, we learned about how higher education has rapidly expanded in the 20th century. The positive aspect of that is that most people at last were finally able to attend college. And we'll see this continue to expand as online courses begin to overtake the old mortar classrooms of yesterday. And one thing that I carry with me from that course is how expensive college became immediately following the passage of financial aid in the 1970s. As college finally become a possibility for all, my cynical and darkly dualistic style of thinking, I must confess, left me with one thought about economic barriers to limit access. My quote is more of a statistic from the Institute of Research for Higher Education than it is a quote, and it's really just the first line that just made me think. It says 12 of the 15 states with the highest concentration of poverty are also those with the largest concentration of Black and Hispanic families. My understanding and my initial instincts is to think along the lines of much like the real estate market has grown and prices have exacerbated in order to economically segregate which used to be socially segregated. Could the exponential price increase in higher education be a resistance or an unintentional buffer from the democratization of higher education? As we can see here, and as the book talks about in detail, it is much more difficult for people of low SES status to go to school than people of a upper middle class or more middle class in higher class status. So considering that higher education is a very conservative institution historically, does this class, is it like the cost, is it an unintentional class barrier? I know it borders on paranoia to say out loud, but this class is all about that experience of people who struggle to afford college, as well as those people who can't afford college and people who are discouraged by cost to go to college in the first place. Does the cost of university affect people and deflect them away from higher education institutions more toward vocations? How much does cost govern our choices and ambitions? My wife is a teacher and not an archaeologist simply because of the potential of loan forgiveness for her school debts after 10 years. Either way, we talk a lot about social justice in these classrooms, but like the ideas of class and poverty, we talk about this issue minimally because it's a different type of uncomfortable. It's essentially an issue of distributive injustice, which kind of in a way college is. I don't have a lot of time to talk about my three questions, but I just answer them in order. How would you like to grow as a scholar and a practitioner? I'd like to develop an understanding of the societal and individual cost of higher education. I heard a statistic that people are putting off getting married and buying homes and things because of college debt. And it's currently completely diverted the motivations and intentions of the millennials. I want to learn about the financial aid policies so I can better help the students that I come into contact with on a daily basis. And I also want to research about college affordability options for non-traditional student populations, which I have a special interest in. How do I plan to help myself grow? I'm going to express more interest and empathy pertaining to financial matters in my graduate assistant position at the Office of Registrars. I want to centralize my understanding on financial student affairs. So it's not just financial aid over here, registrars over here, admissions over here. It's all part of one thing. I also want to pursue employment and internship working with non-traditional students and students of low SES. Finally, what's an area of improvement? To become less egocentric about myself, to care more about others and the students that I'm working for, and to incorporate my hospitality-oriented student services style with the more student-centered ethos, which aligns with the student affairs philosophies of the ACPA and of the UNCW EDL department in general. That last part sounds like it's kissing up, but it's really not. We are in this job for a reason, and I do believe that reason is not money. It's to help students and to be part of that educational process. Thank you very much, and I look forward to watching your videos.